Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain that joke, as well as the purpose of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast, where we talk about faith, family, fitness, finances, and sometimes fun. Well, friends, as always, thank you so much. I appreciate you listening and watching. As always, the likes and the comments and the interaction is always my favorite. Last week, I talked about 3 things that are better than sympathy when your business is struggling. I appreciate that episode. It sounds a little confrontational, but I think it's worthwhile. I appreciate everybody checking it out. I think you're going to find this week's episode very similar. I guess there's some theme going on in the back of my head, but I think the reactions and the questions responding it were great. Because listen, when we go online and we're looking for sympathy, no one really wants to give it to us. We need to find great private ways to walk through that, but on public, on our social media profiles, it's not about being fake, but it is about being optimistic and being just uplifting and encouraging. It's what people are looking for. If you're not in a space for that, then I'm going to ask you to be cautious and careful about what you share, but I'm not going to rehash that episode. Go back and check that out. This week's episode is as upfront and partially confrontational, and this is the Just Get Better episode. So what I'd like to do is I want to share with you 2 stories, one business related, one personal related, where I was tempted to maybe sulk or complain a little bit, but the response and what was needed was to just get better. And what I'm saying is there are times where we have setbacks or discouragement, and we want to think, well, this happened, or this happened, or this happened. But honestly, the real answer is we've just got to get better at what we do. So again, I want to share a business example, and then I'll share a personal, and I'll start with the business example. If you're in sales in your own business, or if you're leading the way in entrepreneurship, you need sales, and you're going to be in the sales business, and that means there's times where you're interacting with someone, or you're putting in a bid, or there's some thought process where you're waiting to hear back from people. Well, recently we heard back that we did not get a contract. And I want to tell you about my initial response to it and where it is from there. So we were reached out to by a company who said, "Hey, you were recommended by so and so. We were recommended by a very good friend. They gave us a glowing recommendation, and this was going to be a 6-month project that would have been wonderful, and would have stretched us a little bit, but was within our skill set." So I met with the lead person one-on-one, and they asked me to put in a proposal. They did not give any feedback on what the shape or the look of that proposal should look like, and they did not give a number for an estimate. They gave us sort of a maximum number. So what that looked like was really kind of up to me. I know that this was going to be something that needed a quick turnaround on the front end, and then would be progressing pretty. It would be a pretty consistent effort throughout the 6 months. So I got that proposal in the next day. It was brief because they said they didn't need anything big. It outlines what we would charge for the service, our background, and how we could serve them. It got into them immediately. And they said they were looking to make a quick decision. Well, the decision just kind of dragged on. And personally, I was getting a little concerned because what they were needing was going to have a quick turnaround, and time was being eaten up. So at first, I wasn't hearing back. I texted, I sent an email, I reached out to the person who gave us a reference, and I would hear from things like, "Hey, sorry, a couple things going on. I'll speak to you early next week." So early next week, I followed up, and nothing's happening, and I don't know how many people are being asked to put in a bid. Rarely do I get to know that, but I felt like the personal interaction with the person in the lead and the reference gave us a great opportunity. Now, what I don't know in any way is what anyone else is proposing for their costs, and I don't know the extent of everyone else's proposal. Do people put in a big giant portfolio of example? Do they do one sheets? I just don't know. But I still felt pretty good about it. I didn't think the delay was that we weren't getting it. I think it was just the nature of all the things going on for that business. Well, I got an email and it just said, "Hey, thank you for the proposal. We were making decisions on this even up until the last day. We've decided to go with another company, but this is a 6 month um, contract, so it'll be open again in 6 months." And I was disappointed. Honestly, I was working right here at my desk. I had the TV on in the background, Bar Rescue, which is sort of my background noise sometimes, and I was just stunned. And I just sat and stared at the TV for like 5 minutes. I mean, I really thought, that we were going to get this one. I felt like there were so many circumstances. Now, here's what I don't know. I don't know if the company who got the project was more affordable. I don't know if their track record's better than us. I don't know if politics are in play. Don't know any of that. And I can't blame any of that. I can't go, well, it's because of this. I mean, I just don't know. And if I decide that, I'm just making up fake reasons to be mad. None of that is going to help me get a contract next time. I mean, I spent that 5 minutes just kind of in a zone, kind of woke up from it. And I thought to myself, Gordon, if you want, if Capitalize wants contracts like that, you got to get better. You got to get a better sheet of reference for what you've done. Your proposals have got to get better. You've just got to get better. And eventually, the quality of service and the delivery and our reputation will continue to grow, and we'll get that contract. Because there's nothing else that I can do. Only thing I can do is get better, or I can complain and be bitter and blame someone else. And guys, this is where we have perseverance, and this is where we improve as professionals and people and business owners. Blaming everything is so popular. We can blame the economy. We can blame, the competitors. They cheated. We can blame, well, I didn't like that person anyway, and whatever the case may be. None of that serves us in any way. All it does is it's blame shifting. It's a lack of responsibility. I have control over one thing. I have control over me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm disappointed. I would love to have gotten that contract, but I didn't. All I can do is get better. And, maybe this wasn't the right fit with this business, but if I get better as an owner, if my graphics people get better, if my video people get better, if our output gets better, if we get more efficient, if we can get affordable but quality, if we can put together great proposals, all we can do is get better. That's all I can do. I'm a business owner. I have employees that I need to work with and make sure they're getting better. I need to make sure I'm employing the best people, and I need to make sure that my interactions are professional and everything I can. It's tempting to just complain and blame, but it does nothing but put the responsibility on someone else. And I don't grow. If I want to grow, if I want to grow my business, I just got to get better. And my encouragement to you guys is look where you're complaining right now. Stop complaining and get better. What else can you do but control yourself? I mean, that's the only person you have control over. Let me share a personal example. I'm going to share running. I shared a business one first. It's broad that I think people can relate to. Not everybody's a runner, but I'll share a running story. Last year in March, I was starting to get back in racing shape. Usually January and February, I take a little bit of break, give my body time to heal, but I was starting to get back in racing shape. And I was running the St. Patrick's Day 5K here in town. And I made the cardinal mistake. I raced with new equipment. You don't ever do that. You don't ever wear new shoes, nothing brand new, like only what's tried and true. Well, I like to race with headphones and listening to music. And my regular racing headphones, my normal ones, were not doing well. Only one ear was working, and it was really like soft. It was almost not listening to music at all. I had these great wraparound headphones, and so I had experimented running in my AirPods, and it seemed to go fine. I had run with them, but I had not raced with them. And I thought, well, I'm just going to do this. Cardinal mistake. Well, when I'm running the race, I'm doing pretty well. I'm hanging in there. I'm maybe top 15 or something. But I really wanted to place top 3 in my age. And I saw some people ahead of me that I knew were in my age group. And I was like, I've got to pass them. and I had gotten myself to third. Like I was pretty sure, knowing the crowd, I was third in my age group, and I'm about a half a mile, maybe zero point 0.4 done, and um, a song pops up, and I'm like, this song is not the finish song. I'm like, I need like this finish song. Well, with AirPods, you tap them, and so I go to tap them, and my AirPods fall out. And guys, AirPods are expensive, and I had to stop, pick up the AirPod, put it in my ear, and take back off. And I got lapped. Couldn't overcome it. Came in fourth in my age group. Now, there's several mistakes there. I could complain. I could complain that dang it, those AirPods should fit better, or dang it, my old headphones should have worked better. No, I shouldn't be racing in something new. Um, I should have just listened to that song. Why am I doing changing songs in the last, half mile of a race? That was my fault. So I think it was 2 weeks later, and there was a trail 5K, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting this back. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna. I know in the crowd, I was like, I'm gonna be top three finisher. Like I'm gonna finish in the top three. There was one of the organizers like, you might win this one, Gordon, but I knew there's some horses out there. There were some runners. I don't know about that. But one of the guys ahead of me was one of the guy that passed me. I was like, man, I had the right headphones this time. And I came in third. I came in third for the race. But still, I was like, you know what? All right, this is better, but I got to get better. I mean, it was rainy that day and muddy. I could have said, oh, if it wasn't rainy, I could have come in second or something. I didn't have the in it to me first. That guy was incredible. I could have blamed the rain or the course or something. I was like, no, like I got a little bit. I just got to get better. So I went and I just trained like crazy. And my next race was the historic half double dog. Now, this is the Marine Corps historic half, and it finishes very hilly. Two of the last 3 miles are very hilly. And so you run the half marathon, and then you go back out for another 5. It's called the double dog, and you running 18 miles. And last year I had run it well, but I wanted to finish top 3 in my age, and that's a big race. And I trained like crazy. I mean, I was doing my intervals. My nutrition was just on point. I mean, I hit that training as hard as I could. And I started at the starting line feeling confident. It's a big race, everybody. I mean, it's a big race. Started out feeling great. And like a mile 2, you're going downhill. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I was holding faster than I thought. And guys, I was kicking butt. I finished strong. I mean, I really did. It was one of the best races I've ever run in terms of management. And I didn't know how I did. And I wound up winning. I was the Masters Division champion. I was the fastest Masters Division. Masters Division is any runner over 50 years old. And like in the whole double dog, I was and it was one of the few races I've ever run that I've won like flat out. And I mean, I've got this massive trophy up here, and it means so much to me. But guys, I had to just get better. I mean, I couldn't complain about headphones. I couldn't complain about the rain. I just had to get better. And my takeaway for us, guys, is just, where do you need to get better? If you need to get better, go get the training you need, the coach you need, the mentorship you need, and make the sacrifices. But we can't complain. If we can get 1% better every single day, we are transformed by the end of the year. So whatever, if we're like, the economy's bad, okay, well, I got to get better. I got to get so good that people still want my goods or services. And I got to have the best offer. If we're like, there's a lot of competition, then I got to get better, right? Like, you know what? Their content's better than mine, but then I got to get better. Whatever the case may be, whatever your product or service is, the goal is just get better. Complaining does nothing but just eats us up. That's all it does. Guys, I'm not discompassionate to you. I'm not unsympathetic. Times are difficult, but you only have control of one thing, and that's you, and that's getting better. So guys, this is very straightforward. I hope it's encouraging. But it's just the only thing we have left is to try to go get better. If I can help you in any way, please go to capitalizeyourbest.com. Go to that button on the lower left and set an appointment up with me. Capitalizeyourbest.com on the lower left. You can also join my private Facebook group, which is Capitalize Your Best. I put coaching in there every single day. On March 15th, at 6:30 p.m. at night in Eastern time, I'm going to have a seminar called Getting Over the Habit of Being Yourself. And that's going to be about overcoming obstacles and habits that hold us back from our growth. So that is May 5th, excuse me, I think I said March, May 15th, 6:30 Eastern time. It's in the Facebook group. So join Capitalize Your Best. There's 3 questions you got to answer to get in there. That just protects us from spam and bots and that kind of thing. Do that. And there's daily coaching in there. I hope you like this episode. And again, if you'd like to set up a one-on-one with me, just go to capitalizeyourbest.com. Go to that button on the lower left, click it, set an appointment up with me, and I can't wait to see you. As always, guys, I appreciate you watching and listening. I hope you got some encouragement out of it. And I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Thanks so much.